Hello, and welcome to Our Ventura TV. I'm MB Hanrahan, and today my guest is Rachael Watkins. And Rachael, your term, your title is Victims Service Manager, Victim Services Manager of the Family Justice Center here in Ventura, which is very new. And why don't you just take it and describe what the Family Justice Center is?
Well, first of all, MB, thank you for having us here today. And myself, I'm really excited to be here to share this information with you about our Family Justice Center now in Ventura County. The Family Justice Center movement for our county goes back a few years. I wanted to let everybody know that Gregory Totten, our DA, really made a focus on the development of the Family Justice Center about 5 years ago. And there's been a lot of work leading up to where we're at now with multiple partner agencies, nonprofit and governmental, over 130 people really working together to make this a reality in Ventura
Because center sounds like an umbrella kind of organization or something, right?
Right. So the Family Justice Center, in a nutshell, is a one-stop shop for victims of domestic violence, sexual assault, human trafficking, elder abuse, and child abuse.
Wow.
Those are our focus areas. Other crime types can be assisted as well. We're never going to turn somebody away without connecting them to services that they need, but those are the focus areas that we have. And the model itself brings many partners together in the community, governmental and nonprofit, under one roof to be able to serve the victims of those crime types just described in a collaborative way, in a way that we haven't been able to really do before.
Because the agencies can communicate with each other and referrals can be done right then and right there. So someone walks in the door. Walk us through.
So at this point, most of our clientele are walk-ins with the public.
Really?
We don't really have appointments per se unless they're follow-up appointments. About 80% of our client population right now comes from referrals from law enforcement. But we're building that now through community awareness, opportunities like this. In addition to our different partners that know about the services, and self-referrals as well as the word gets out about our center. But when somebody walks into the center, the first thing that they do is come into a lobby area, and I hope we can talk about the mural that stands in there in just a minute. But when they come into that lobby area, first thing they do is do a very quick, we call it a conflict check. One thing that we have to do is just make sure that we're not helping opposing parties in a situation. We are led by the DA's office. The center is led by the DA's office, although it's a collaboration of many agencies. And there may be, for example, something that happens where we're helping someone with a restraining order and both parties come in for assistance. So we've got to make a call sometimes on who we're able to assist. So that first conflict check that happens is a very quick check. Once someone is cleared to come in, then we have a navigator, we call them, come out and actually escort that person back to a client room. The navigator is someone that sits down with that person for the first time and really through conversation learns about what their needs are, what brought them into the center, what are they looking for assistance with, explains what the Family Justice Center is and the services that are available there, and then creates a needs assessment of sorts and a recommended services plan for that day. So being that we have multiple partners, to give you an example of the partners that we have at the center right now, we have our district attorney victim advocate staff, we have our district attorney investigator, we have human services agency, we have Interface Children and Family Services, the Coalition for Family Harmony, Public Health Nursing, Ventura County Legal Aid, Child Support Services, Ventura County Area Agency on Aging. We have Healthcare for Justice, which is a nonprofit organization that assists victims of human trafficking, and more. So that navigator discusses all of these potential service providers with the client, and based on the client's individual needs, will connect that client with the service providers that day. And the navigator's other role is to actually physically connect with each one of those service providers and coordinate those service providers coming into the client in the client room, actually meeting with them there. So the client really stays in a client room the entire time.
Wow.
That they're at the center. They don't even have to go down the hall to a different organization. The client rooms have some snacks, water, Keurig set up in all of them. Really, we wanted to make it as a comfortable place as possible for someone that's moving through sometimes the worst time of their life.
Sure, and it can be, their life could be in danger. I mean, just not to put too fine a point on it.
Absolutely, and one of the main
or their
goals,
children's lives threatened.
Absolutely, and many people in those positions that have been victimized, that are deep in the midst of trauma. It's very difficult to just wake up in the morning and start moving forward, let alone get out of the house and recognize and want to seek assistance and help. And once we have someone walk through that door, our hope is that they immediately gain an understanding that this is a place that they can feel safe, that this is a place that they can come back to.
Right, and be honest.
And be honest and open with all of those that are there. Each one of the service providers holds different levels of confidentiality, and we make sure to go over that with the client so they know what their choices are and who they talk to and why. Another important part of the kind of onboarding of a client into the center is that one of the first things we go over with them is a confidentiality and information sharing slip. So it lets them know that the model itself allows for, if they give us consent, allows for the service providers to actually talk about the circumstances of their particular situation. So we, as partners, can actually work together to provide the most streamlined services in the best way possible for that individual client based on their needs. And many clients are coming through with children. To give you an idea of how many clients we've served overall and children, I'll talk a little, if I may. March 1st of last year, I can't believe it's been almost a year, we started a pilot program with a Family Justice Center mini model version in our district attorney's office, where we turned a 900 square foot space into a family justice center with 7 agencies working under one roof. And from that point up until the point that we've moved into our new facility, November 12th of this last year, up until now, we have served nearly 2,000 clients, and there are about 2,200 children attached to those clients. So another main focus, and something that our DA saw many years ago when we first started looking at this model, is that times are changing, California is changing, prosecutors cannot rely solely on putting someone away for many, many years because they've harmed somebody, and incapacitation through incarceration, it just doesn't happen like it did for a long time, and that's one of the ways to keep someone safe, but there are many other ways to keep someone safe, and being able to really focus on the preventative part of things and the immediate services that need to be provided, in addition to having a true focus on not just the person that walks through the door, but their entire family. Because these crimes happen to people, and it's a ripple effect. They affect the individual for a lifetime, but it also can affect all of the individuals around that person, including their children. And
I just want to point one thing out that I don't think everybody really understands. Like you know, you're talking about how many organizations. That's revolutionary, because we are talking about, you know, from the little I know, the difference between laying out a diagnosis of the services someone needs and then going, oh yeah, now take this bus and go over here and then take this place and go over there. It's entirely revolutionary to have this model of potential care for people that in this it's very scary, and who knows, you know, if these people can even get around or if it's safe for them to be out in public with their kids. We, you know.
And And what we know is really true victim advocates from all of the organizations underneath it all. We know that clients that are making it in, it took a lot for someone to get to that space, a lot. They could have attempted multiple times. They may not be seeking help as we wish they could, because they're doing the dance of playing with their own life, really, and looking at their surroundings, and they know really the best way to keep themselves safe. And sometimes it does mean that they're not accessing services right away. So our goal is able to get this message out to everybody, so everybody can know that there is a place to receive services, and we are going to do what we can for that individual's circumstances specifically. There's no cookie cutter way to be able to address the lives of people that walk through, and every case is looked at very specifically, and the response is just like that.
How is an organization like this going to be sustained in the future?
Well, we were able to receive a grant from the state called the Emerging Family Justice Center grant about a year ago.
Okay.
There was a certain amount of money allotted in the state budget for family justice centers in the state of California. Some of that money was distributed through grants for existing centers, and some of it for emerging centers. We applied for the emerging, and we received a grant for $400,000. Every penny of that grant goes solely to the rent and overhead of the facility that we're in. I'm glad that you brought that up, because the way that the center works itself is that all of the partners that have come on board that are now under one roof, we're not asking the partners, those organizations, to pay rent. We're not asking for them to pay for utilities or the office ware that is there for them. We're covering all of that, and we're asking our partners to just give us one of their people to be able to place in the center and
I see.
be able to provide services that they're already providing in the community.
Right.
But rolling in now, providing services to the clients that come through the Family Justice Center. So we have the rent and the building covered for 3 years. But after that, we are working on a plan. One of the plans is that we have a Family Justice Center Foundation that has been formed. That's a 501c3 that really is the fundraising arm for
development, as they say.
Development and the sustainability of the building and the center in the future. If the building costs were able to be covered in full and we could buy the building right out, all of those fundraising efforts and the money that potentially could come from the state could go directly to programming and developing programming for clients.
So so that's one way that people can get involved. And is there would you like to provide the information of how people can get in touch with you, like the address of the place and
Absolutely. So the Family Justice Center is located at 3170 Loma Vista Road in Ventura, California, 93003. We're open 8 to 5 every day. There's a main office line that you can call anytime 8 to 5. Someone will answer and direct you or answer your questions. That number is 805-652-7655. Or you can also review the website that we have up, which is vcfjc.org. Another number that's important to know is for the foundation itself. If individuals are wanting to donate, whether it be a monetary amount or actual items, they can reach the Ventura County Family Justice Center Foundation at 805-652-7636. And the email for that is vcfjcfoundation@gmail.com.
All right. Rachel, it's just really been a pleasure and so much information. We trust that people will take you up on all of that. And thank you for joining us today on Our Ventura TV. I've been MB Hanrahan, and I will continue to be. See you soon.